Folks, we're going to start in about 60 seconds. And we are on live stream now. Luckily, you can do whatever you want outside the first two rows. And about this, you won't be on TV. So it's being live streamed on the Temple Israel YouTube channel. If any of you want to, I think somebody wanted to make sure their kids were watching tonight to see if they were paying attention. And if you need the link, you can see the handsomest guy over there, the guy who looks like Gru, and he will give you the link. So, some housekeeping before we get started. Thank you again for all the candidates who've appeared and all our citizens who are here as well. As we talked about on here, and I've talked with the campaigns, we're going to alternate who speaks, and I've marked down who's here, and we're going to alternate who speaks between the campaigns. We're going to start the first campaign we're going to call up, and they're going to go in order here on our program. And so the first two campaigns are not here, and Jim Thomas and Krista Allison are the last speakers tonight because we're doing a Q&A with them. So the next race would then be the 50th State House race. So we're going to start here, Republican first, then Democrat. So for the next race is Democrat, then Republican, Republican, then Democrat. I'm just going to go down the list, whether there's an opponent here or it's just one candidate or not. And there are some cards out there for our general public and pens, and we have some more up here. If you just want to walk around the back so you're not in the way of the camera. If you have a question you would like the moderator to look at for the candidates for State House 49 as part of our Q&A, we're going to look at those, and we have separate time set aside for the State House 49 race. I'm just going to ask that people stay in their place during the speeches and not get up and leave in the middle of speeches or until the event's done, so we don't have any movement on the TV and all the candidates can concentrate. We should be done in an hour. And again, if you haven't heard already, you go through these doors to the restroom and go to the back through the tiled floor to find the handicap accessible restrooms. Thank you again to all of you for coming here tonight to Temple Israel on the Jewish Community Campus. My name is Paul Hervey. I am the chairman of tonight's election reception, and with me to my right are several of the people who make this possible. Okay? One of them is going to be introducing our dignitaries here in a minute. That's Bill Smuckler. Next is Kyle Arke. I always say Aker by mistake. Kyle Arke, who is our house manager, and then next to them is Rabbi David Komorowski, who's going to help us here in a second. He's also in charge of our live stream tonight. And then our Brotherhood president, Todd Kotler, who found a suitable bow tie, because he always likes his bow ties tonight. Is that your happy smile face kippah?
It is my happy smile face kippah.
Okay. His son wore one with comic books yesterday. So, and for those of you who've never been here before, this is actually an altar back here, and that's the big sanctuary in there. About 12 years ago, we came together as a community and combined to one building, but there's 3 organizations in here. So there's a more conservative synagogue, there's Temple Israel, which is Reform. We all share the building along with the Jewish Federation, our social services agency, and we've made it work, I think, pretty well for 12 years. So when we have small services, we're in here. Big services are in the big congregation. We could actually open this up if we wanted to. And it's worked out very well as an example how we can get together in the community and make things happen by joining together. And that's why we have 2 kitchens in back. So, but we're not here for religion tonight. We're here for our duties as citizens to hear from our candidates. And I really thank you all for being here. I think I'm the third, maybe some of my friends will tell me, third person to be in charge of these over 60 years. Sid Savage and Robert Schwartz each took 20 years at the helm during their times with Temple Israel, and in 60 years, we have only had pleasure here. We have only had great Stark County people being wonderful citizens, even if they're opposing each other in races. We've never had a boo. We've never had a hiss. We've never had inappropriate comments up here or in back, and it's been so wonderful, and I want to thank you guys for continuing that tradition after 60 years. With that, I'm going to look here, And I'm going to invite Rabbi David Komarovsky of Temple Israel up to lead us with an invocation.
It's every rabbi's dream to be introduced with, "We're not here for religion." Good evening. Thank you for being here. Thank you to the candidates, to our elected officials, to their friends and family and supporters. Thank you to our citizens and to those who put this evening together. Source of all, in whose image each of us is created, we pray for wisdom and patience as we each use our gifts for your sacred purposes on earth. May all of our disagreements this evening and throughout our lives always be disagreements that are for the sake of heaven, as we seek the best of you in ourselves and seeking the best of you in each other, so that we may fulfill through our elected officials the vision of Psalm 85, Chesed ve'emet nifgashu, tzedek ve'shalom nashaku. Faithfulness and truth shall meet, justice and well-being shall embrace. Amen.
Amen.
And before I introduce or have introductions done by Bill, I want to thank one other important segment of our congregation. Your desserts tonight, if you did not like them, were made by Todd, but if you did like them, they were made by the Temple Sisterhood, and they have donated them because we appreciate your donations to help their programs. Everything that we collected tonight goes to Temple Sisterhood for their community action projects, and I can't tell what they're going to do from month to month. I will tell you this summer, they spent their time collecting money for school supplies for all the students at Harder Elementary. So that's the type of community activity we're talking about when we say we're doing service for the community. It's anything to do with religion. Thank you, Sisterhood, again for your help. With that, I'd like to bring up Bill Smuckler to introduce our dignitaries. Thank you.
For those of you that don't know, I was a city councilman for 34 years. So I got to put my name on the ballot over 30 times. And I know how tough this is. And for all of you that are running, I wish you the best of luck, but I also understand that everybody can't win. And the first time that I lost, a very close friend of mine said, "Get over it. Everybody loses a job every once in a while. But everybody doesn't lose their job in front of the news media." So, with that being said, I sure hope we have some kindness and respect for everybody in the room. In introductions, anybody here for Kevin Coughlin tonight? Congresswoman Sykes. Anyone here for Scott Oslager? This is going to go fast. Anybody for Lynn Gorman? Jim Thomas? Well, okay. Krista Allison? Stand up. There you go. Matthew Kishman. There we go. I'm going to mess this up even though you told me. Doremius Redvine? How'd I do? Doremus Redvine. Okay. Bill Smith? Joe Cole? Richard Regula?
I'm representing myself.
Okay. Kevin Hall? Kyle Stone? Richard Reinbold? Anybody representing Eric Weisburn?
Yes, sir.
Oh, there you are, Eric. I didn't see you come in. Okay, Sheriff George Meyer.
Good evening.
Lynn Miller Tadero. There she is. Rick Campbell? All right. Jamie Walters? There you are, all right. Tara Dyer? Alex Zumbar? I didn't get this much cooperation at City Council. Joseph Leolis. Dan Funk. Judge Natalie Hopp. Okay. Matt Kreitzer. Katie Urchek Gilbert. And that's everybody this evening, and the program starts. Thank you.
Who feels like you were having attendance taken in high school there? Thank you, Bill. With that, we're going to start off with our speeches from our candidates, and Todd's going to stand back there near Jamie. So if you need to know if you're running out of time, you'll see Todd go 2, 1, and we'll try and keep it on time here. Okay? With that, I'm going to ask our first candidates coming up for State House 50th District, and we're going to start again. We're going to start on the left side of the program. So I'm going to first introduce Matthew Kitchman. Thanks.
Good evening. My name is Matthew Kishman. I'm running for the 50th District State Representative, which covers the eastern part of Stark County. Currently, I serve in Minerva Village Council. I've been on council for 5 years. I also serve as Director of Operations at our family-owned grocery store. We've been in Stark County for 70 years. We have 2 locations. This is some of the clubs I'm involved in. I'm past president of Minerva Rotary, past board member for the Ohio Grocers Association, and currently I sit on the National Grocers Association for Government Relations. I'm in my 5th year as a Minerva Village Council member, where I've been involved with upgrading our water lines, improving our parks, and upgrading our downtown to make it more business friendly. I'm running for state representative because I want to serve the people in the 50th District. I care about our schools. I care about kids, getting them ready to graduate, into jobs. I care about the energy in the district and making Ohio energy independence. And just some of my endorsements I received is the Ohio Education Association, the Chamber PAC, the Realtor PAC, and the Ohio Farm Bureau PAC. That's all I have. Thank you.
And I should point out, these microphones are meant for shorter people, so our taller candidates are free to move them. But this is the only microphones that's being picked up on the live stream, so please use it. With that, I'd like to invite up the opponent in State House 50th race, Doremus Redvine.
How's everybody doing? My name is Doremus Redvine. I am running for State Representative 50th District. Up until February 10th, I was known as Corey, Red, Coach Red. I referee full-time, so I had a lot of different names that not as well, not as good. But just to say, I don't think less of myself. I think of myself less. And that's what I go by. Putting others' needs and wants first comes naturally to me. And that's why I believe I'll be a good representative. So becoming a state representative isn't something that I sought out for. I got a phone call. It was unexpected, unaware, and honestly unsure that I was, she even got that phone call. I didn't want to be a hypocrite to what I do. I don't have a political background. I take care of my youth, my community. I do a really good job at it. I'm almost 20 years in. I'm 36 years old. I get kids into college who hasn't been played for their high school. I believe in giving you a chance. I believe in second chances. And I just believe that empowering our youth will make our future better. Coming could say for as I've been campaigning and touching areas that I've never been before, and trying to learn agricultural world and just things that I've never even thought about. One thing I've learned is that we have the same problems and the same issues throughout the district. So that's really throughout the state. And overall, as a representative, I just want to be the best middleman there's been. I want to be the best connection, the transparency, just a face that you know you're getting the truth from, you're getting real from. So I didn't feel like I even was a part of what's going on. I don't be as comfortable as others at times, but I do know that when God calls, you answer. And when I got that phone call, it wasn't a call from, honestly, I don't even know who called me. They just said, "Are you ready?" And I'm like, "Ready for what?" But I am ready now, and I want that spot. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we're going to hear from some candidates for county commissioner, and we're going to start off with Joe Cole. Joe? Thank you.
Shalom. Kind of had a feeling earlier when Mr. Smuckler was doing roll call that I was back in my classroom. For those of you that don't know, I'm just finishing my 25th year, starting my 26th year as a public educator, and in that time I've been everything from a teacher to a coach to a principal. So it's an honor to be here with you tonight, and I'd like this opportunity to say a few words to you. First, I want to say how much I value the Jewish community here, and to make it clear that I stand firmly with you in condemning the alarming rise of anti-Semitism in our society. It has no place in our world. I want to state without hesitation that I fully support Israel in its war against Hamas. Israel has the right to defend itself, and I stand with its mission to destroy Hamas no matter how long it takes to ensure lasting peace and security. Now turning to our county. There are two critical issues I want to highlight. First, we need to restore transparency in our government. Right now, board meetings are held during the day, out of reach for most of you. The taxpayers we are supposed to serve. If elected, I will push to hold these meetings in the evenings at more accessible locations, like public libraries and township offices, so you can attend, ask questions, and hold your public servants accountable. The current leadership might argue that no one showed up when they tried this in the past, but I believe with proper publicity and your support, people will show up. Secondly, we cannot ignore the strengthening Stark report. It warned us loud and clear, without action, our county would become smaller, older, and poorer. And here we are, years later. What has been done? What has changed? The failure to follow the blueprint laid out in this report is costing us valuable time and opportunities. We need leadership that takes these warnings seriously and acts with urgency. We can't keep ignoring the challenges and expect things to improve. But here's the good news. Change is possible. With fresh leadership, bold ideas, and a commitment to transparency, we can turn things around. We can make Stark County a place where people want to live, work, and invest. The challenges that we face are significant, but they are not insurmountable. Together, we can build a brighter future for our community. Thank you for your time.
Next, we're going to hear from the candidates for the other commissioner seat that is up this year, and we're going to start with Richard Regula.
Well, thank you, Paul, and I want to thank the Temple of Israel for having us here today. It's always good to get in front of people. One of the things I pride myself on, and of course I learned a lot from my parents, Ralph and Mary Regula, is you got to be accessible to the people. But one of the things, I've been back in county government since 2012, and one of the things we're most proud of is what we've done for the citizens of Stark County in improving our facilities.
We soon learned that we value our employees, and we soon learned that we had facilities that were not up to standards. We built a new Board of Elections, and I want to encourage everybody to get out and vote early. It's your most important right, and we've got a state-of-the-art Board of Elections out on 62. If you want to vote absentee, that's fine, but take your ballot, instead of putting it in the mail, take it out to the Board of Elections and put it in the deposit box. We built a new coroner's office because our coroner's office was substandard, to say the best, to take care of the people of the county. We built a new record center out of, we inherited a lot of these old DD buildings, MRDD buildings that were owned by county government, so we built a new record center. We built new facilities and renovated facilities for our jobs and family services folks because we value them and we have to have an environment for them to do their jobs. It started out with our IT department. The IT people, to get good IT folks, you have to have a good facilities for them to work in. And we are going to embark on the largest county project in the county's history. We're going to build a new jail with no new taxes. We're not going to borrow any money, and we're going to do it for the people of Stark County. And the best thing we're going to do with that jail project is we're going to go from, I think, about 30 mental health beds to 130 mental health beds, because we are the mental health institution of the county at times, and we need to take care of that issue. So I respectfully ask for your support on November 5th, and like I said, I want to thank everyone for having me here today. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Next, we have candidates for county prosecutor, and we're going to start with what? Oh, Kevin. I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm sorry. Kevin, please come on up.
Hi, so everybody know I'm Kevin Hall. I'm born and raised here in Canton, Ohio, in Stark County. I currently am a 37-year veteran of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, and I currently am a project manager. And I state that as in I manage million-dollar projects. Part of what we would have to do as a commissioner. I also, when I used to be on city council. When I was on city council, I was the chair of the Community and Economic Development, something that needs to be done in Stark County. We need to promote more economic development. So as I say this, we talk about how the county is supposed to represent us all. Not in Canton, not in Massillon, not in Alliance. They're supposed to represent us all. This county government sent back $7 million of $11 million for rental assistance. We have a serious homeless problem, but they send money back. That doesn't make sense. This county government, when they bid out projects, instead of considering, because there's ways you can consider local government, local businesses, you can put in the bid specs that 5%, any bids close to 5% can go to a local company. But they argue over $75 and give a company out of Summit County a job instead of keeping our workers busy. When they remodeled their offices for $1.3 million, which it came in under budget, but less than 5%, again, the money difference between two contractors, they gave it to a Summit County contractor. That doesn't add up. We're supposed to represent and keep all of us working first. Dollars do make sense, but when we're talking about pennies on the dollar, we should be representing us. And as a commissioner, I would make sure that we are represented, manage our money properly. We're not in the business to keep bringing in more money. We're supposed to be representing. Talked about mental health. We have a serious problem with mental health, homelessness, our veterans, and we should be supporting all of these agencies that are trying to help. That's in Alliance, that's in Malvern, that's in Magnolia. Any of these agencies that want to help us, that's where we should be. As commissioner, that is something that I would make sure of, that we're representing us all, not just county government. We should be representing the people of the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry I screwed up that order there, but that means that we are back to the Democrats to start for the next speech. So we're going to have Richard Reinbold up here for Prosecutor's Office.
Good evening, and I would like to, I wish I was taller, I always did wish I was taller, but I want to thank the Brotherhood and the Sisterhood of the Temple Israel. I want to thank Paul Hervey, who I've known for a long, long time. Rabbi David, thank you so much for your invocation. Mr. Bill Smuckler and Rabbi Spitzer, who is here today, who has been an icon in these parts for years and years to come, and you're well loved, and we miss you. I would like to thank the Stark County Sheriff for packing the jury. Over here on my left side, my name is Dick Reinbold, and I'm running for the Stark County Prosecutor's Office because I often refer to it as the flagship of public offices. This office, above all others, demands an attorney who is an experienced, dedicated, tested, and trusted. It requires an attorney who is respected by law enforcement to give advice based on years of trying criminal cases, from DUIs to capital murder cases. Those are some of the, it requires an attorney that has organized and presented hundreds of cases to a grand jury. It requires an attorney who can form a working relationship with the city law departments in Stark County to develop an early indictment policy resulting in bringing offenders to justice swiftly, competently, and at a savings to both police departments in dollars and in man-hours. It requires an attorney to work with and partner with local subdivisions to give sound legal advice and to bring economic growth to Stark County based on the years of my working in this community. Over my career, I've either defended, tried, or presided over 400 jury trials. I have instructed other judges in seminars from child abuse to evidentiary issues to civil malpractice cases. In association with Judge Sinclair, I assisted in developing a capital murder seminar that is now required by all common pleas judges before they are permitted to sit on a capital murder case. As an Army officer, chief of the Stark County Prosecutor's Office for 5 years, I have a depth of experience in leadership. I have presided over scores of civil cases involving millions of dollars. I was instrumental in reorganizing the county jail in the early 90s with Phil Giavasis and Randy Gonzalez, resulting in the savings of hundreds of thousands of dollars to the citizens of Stark County. All I ask is you look me up, see what I'm telling you. If it's not true, it will be. And I'm asking for your vote on November 5th. And to my friend Kyle Stone, I wish you good luck too. Thank you.
And now we'll hear from the Republican candidate, Kyle Stone.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks for the invite, Rabbi David, wherever he is at. To all the rabbis here. As a man of the cloth, I want to always honor those individuals who wear that responsibility. When I ran in 2020 for the prosecutor, I ran not for political gain, not for a certain status, but I saw a need for a change in the prosecutor's office. I saw the need for a more active prosecutor, and so I ran, and that's exactly what I said I was going to do. I've done just that. We've worked with different individuals within the community. We have began for the past 2 years, we've had a direct indictment a specific prosecutor for our direct indictment efforts. My involvement within, not only in the criminal side, but on the civil side, our civil prosecutors have over 150 years of legal experience. They have more than enough experience to provide guidance to all of our county offices, provide guidance to all of our, the 8 townships that we represent out of the 17, and all of our libraries and whatever agency within county government. We've provided the support necessary. We've seen a decrease in violent crime in Stark County. We've seen an increase in engagement from our office to the community. As I sit on the United Way Board, I sit on the Canton Symphony Board, I sit on the OJAC Board, Ohio Justice Alliance for Community Corrections, and I also sit on the national board on the National Black Prosecutors Association, providing guidance, providing information. This job is not a job that requires a lawyer. This job is a job that requires a people manager. I manage a staff of 70 individuals, and we've implemented things in the office that has changed the dynamics in our office, it's changed the culture in our office, and it allowed my people to give the best work, the best service to Stark County. This is a job that requires innovative approaches to prosecution. We cannot do what we did 30 years ago. We must be able to move forward, and that's what we have done since I've taken office in 2021. Everybody isn't happy with every decision that's made, every situation. That outcome of it is not always favorable to everyone involved. However, there is no case, no situation in my office that can be said that Kyle or his team has misled, misworked, or misdone anything. We always operate with integrity, we operate with honesty, and we move forward with our cases, how we interact with our community, and we do what we're supposed to do, follow the law. No one in Stark County can say Kyle Stone owes them a favor, because I don't play favors. I don't have political favors. I don't have political responsibility that will require me to do certain things. So I ask for your vote November 5th to allow me another 4 years as your county prosecutor. Thank you.
Before we move on, just a reminder, if you want to submit a question for the 49 House race to the moderator, me, before we get started in about 15 minutes with that, if you have one written down, you can hand it to Todd Kotler to collect. If you need pen and paper, it's out front, and there should be some in back there. With that, we're going to move on to the sheriff's race, and we're going to start with Eric Weisberg. Eric?
Good evening. I'm Eric Weisberg, candidate for Stark County Sheriff. I want to take you back on a little bit of a journey and tell you what brought me here today. So at age 16, I started my first taste of being a first responder. At the age of 16, I was a volunteer firefighter. And then throughout that time, I then became an EMT, and then I rose to the rank of fire chief. Early on, my parents taught me the importance of serving your community, doing the right thing, showing up, and being there for the community that you live and work in. I then started my career at the sheriff's office in 1991. I got hired in as a corrections officer. So for the first 7 years, I worked inside the jail division of the sheriff's office. Primarily, I worked in the mental health wing. Seems like mental health has been a topic here throughout the evening. And that is really where I got my first real exposure to the importance of early intervention in mental health care for inmates. It's, as I believe one of the commissioners or somebody said, there's no doubt about it, the sheriff's office, the jail is the largest mental health facility in Stark County. I'm aware of those needs. I work closely with mental health, and I can guarantee that that will continue. After my 7 years as a corrections officer, I then became a deputy sheriff, and I went out to the road and I worked the road patrol, doing the task that is required upon any deputy that's working out on the road. I was the first school resource officer for Plain Local Schools. I worked with Plain Local very closely at the beginning, trying to establish how we were going to work together. It was new to the area. We hadn't had any school resource officers. There was a group of 5 of us, and I was the first one into plain local. So I worked hard to foster those relationships. I then was assigned to the Investigations Bureau, where I investigated the child sex and physical abuse that was taking place in Stark County. I worked that detail for 3 years. That was probably one of the most rewarding aspects of my career. I really enjoyed helping the helpless, helping the most innocent, and that being the children. I can never take away their pain and their family's pain for what had happened to them, but I always felt with my compassion and my true concern for their well-being, I at least give them some sort of relief or some sort of comfort. After that, I was then promoted to the rank of sergeant. As sergeant, I returned back to the Road Patrol Division, where I worked about 9 years as a sergeant. Primarily, I worked midnight shift, but I was everywhere in this county. My boots have been all throughout this county. I worked a lot of high-profile cases, one of which was the Jesse Davis murder case. I was the lead investigator in that. Of course, I didn't do it by myself. I had a lot of help, but we had a successful conviction on that case. I was promoted to lieutenant in 2016. When I was promoted to lieutenant, I was brought back to the Corrections Division, at which time I was placed as the assistant jail commander. And I remained there for the last 7 years of my career, at which time I retired in January of 22. And it was later in that year that I decided that I needed to get back into it, that I was missing the excitement of the law enforcement, and I felt that I could bring some real positive changes to Stark County and the Sheriff's Office, and that is my goal. And I respectfully ask for your vote this November. Thank you.
And now I'd like to invite up George Meyer, Democrat for sheriff.
I'm going to move a little
There's no rumor. He is not my brother.
Yeah, we are brothers. We are brothers. We're all brothers, right? Thank you, Temple Israel, for this opportunity to be here tonight. We certainly appreciate the candidates forum this evening, and thank you, all of you, for being here as well. My name is George Meyer, and I'm currently your Stark County Sheriff. I've been your sheriff for about 11 and a half years, and I've certainly been honored to serve in that capacity for the last 11 and a half years. I need to talk a little bit about how I got here, and my law enforcement service began many, many years ago, a little over 40 to be exact, as a patrol officer in Hartville. When I left the Hartville Police Department, I joined the Ohio State Highway Patrol, where I spent 25 years as a state trooper and retired as a command officer commanding a district in the southern part of Ohio. Trying to gravitate back to my home here in Stark County where I grew up, but I was selected to serve as the Assistant Director of the Ohio Department of Public Safety. It's a 4,000-person agency. It oversees the Ohio State Highway Patrol, the Ohio Investigative Unit, and many aspects of public safety in Ohio. But a little bit about what we've done currently as sheriff. First of all, I currently serve as the president of Buckeye State Sheriff's Association, which honor I've been truly blessed to receive by being elected by my peers. In my tenure as your sheriff, I've applied training, sound fiscal management, development of professional and efficient organization to better serve the men and women of our agency and certainly to better serve the folks of our community. We do that through collaboration, and that's our central mission. Helping us launch pivotal initiatives like our computer-aided dispatch system, which optimizes emergency response, our Stark Marks emergency radio system, which is seamless communications to all public safety officials all across Stark County, and our law enforcement training center, which we have provided more than 13 hours of training in 2013. Preparing law enforcement professionals as leaders to serve in our communities. In just the most recent years, as your sheriff, I have secured more than $10 million in grants directly enhancing our community safety and demonstrating my commitment to us saving our taxpayers' dollars and using those dollars efficiently. Some of our accomplishments include community-oriented policing, which puts our community first. By saving taxpayers' dollars, by hosting a number of safety grants like the OVI Task Force, Safe Communities, and Violence Against Women, and building a coalition of partners to do that. My office also hosts the U.S. Marshals Violent Fugitive Task Force. We have been the host of that for the past 10 years. That has led to removing hundreds of violent fugitives from our community. Most importantly, our School Safety Task Force, which we launched, which has been recognized on the state level as being innovative for ideas and keeping fresh ideas and keeping our students safe. I prioritize our commitment to our community. Public service is my life's work, and I'm driven by passion to keep Stark County safe. I ask for your vote and certainly provide leadership and continued progress at the Stark County Sheriff's Office. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Next, we'll have our candidates for Clerk of Courts, starting with Rick Campbell.
Oh, no, I'm bad back. How you doing? I'm already thrown off my speech. You know, how you doing? Funny story, real quick. One night we're at a football game, and my wife's helping me. And she has to sit there and listen to me. We share the workload, so I hand out 300 notepads. And 300 times she has to say, here, how you doing? Good to see you tonight. How you doing? So afterwards she goes, Rick, why do you do that? I go, what do you mean, why do I do that? She goes, why do you say, how you doing? I said, I don't know, that's just what I've done over the last 30 years. You know, how I greet people, I've kind of got into it. She goes, you're not Italian. I go, no. She goes, you're Scottish and Greek. I go, yeah. She goes, who do you think you are, Joey on Friends? I go, no, it's just how I kind of greet folks, you know. So I want to say, how you doing? Good to see you all tonight. How you doing? See, you got it. I'm here with my lovely wife, Lisa. We have 6 adult children. Just became empty nesters 2 years ago. Gotcha. You threw me off. See, I got it all written down here. It's okay. Why am I doing this? You know, my commitment, all kidding aside, when I was in the U.S. Navy, we were in the Persian Gulf, and we were a mothership to the mine sweeps. I was on the ship's security force on a 40 cal, and it all kind of came into focus the one night we had a small boat that was trying to attach a bomb onto the ship, and I had to cock the gun back and ask for permission to shoot. And when you're doing that, it's kind of an odd feeling, and you really kind of have to think about why you're there. And I realized that I'm there to serve my country, to protect our freedoms. That's why I went into this. And that commitment to service was so ingrained, I carried it on through, and was recorder for 20 years. I was township trustee in Jackson. Few points about my resume in relation to this clerk of courts. I served with Judge Jim Gwynn. We sat on 250 jury trials together until he went to the federal bench. I worked with Eddie Elam in municipal court, then Johnny Meyer as his civil division supervisor in the clerk of courts. And, you know, I'm running because I want to help the community by bringing e-filing to Stark County. It's not there. It's not there. We're the 8th largest county, and we need it done. Folks, I did this 2 decades ago. The current administration isn't. I can probably get that in and done in a year because I've done it. That's costing you money, and in that, if you go get an attorney, he has to drive down to clerk of court, or down to the office and, time, my bad, excuse me. I appreciate your vote. Sorry for the stories. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, and I'd like to introduce Lynn Miller Todaro.
Okay, I want to say thank you for inviting me tonight, because if anybody knows me, they know I love public speaking, so this is great. Okay, so I just want to say, when I was asked to run for clerk of courts in 2020, before 2020, I had never ran for a public office like this before. And my whole background was in private sector. I think the private sector helped me immensely. I had 10 years in records control, and the rest was in purchasing. What I found out, one of the reporters from the repository called me and said, "What are you going to change?" Well, I'm not going to, you can't say I'm going to change this because I don't know what needs to be changed. So within the first year, we made a lot of changes, but you have to get in there and see what needs to happen. As far as the e-filing, we're going live with that in June of next year, along with our new case management system. So, we've made a lot of strides in the department. One of the things that, with the new record center, we removed 11,000 pounds of paper from our office last year, which, if anybody knows, that's a lot of real estate. So, and it was stuff that, it may have had a retention period on it, but they kept the records anyways. I mean, we had stuff that was over 20 years old that should have been thrown away. And we currently have the whole 4th floor, that's the clerk's area, to move to the new record center. So I'm looking forward to that. We did the courthouse lobby. We put in ballistic glass so our clerks over there were safe. And now it's not a total, 100%, but it's a deterrent to get, if somebody would happen to an active shooter. So I don't really have a lot to say, but I ask for your vote in the fall. Thank you.
Thank you. And next, we're going to have the candidates for county recorder, and we're going to start with Jamie Walters.
Good evening. It's wonderful to see you all. Thank you to Paul and Temple Israel for having us all. My name is Jamie Walters. I am currently serving as your Stark County recorder. I've been married to my beautiful and wonderful wife. You're watching, my beautiful and wonderful wife, for 24 years, and we have 2 children together. Our daughter Zoe is in grad school pursuing a PhD in psychology, and our son Ash is a senior at the high school. Before serving as a recorder, I was blessed to serve 3 terms as Jackson Township trustee. When I ran for recorder in 2020, there were really 3 areas that I thought we could improve operations in the recorder's office. I thought we could save money, I thought we could upgrade our cybersecurity protections, and I thought we could continue with excellent customer service. And we've been able to do all of those things. I'm happy to be able to tell you and the public of Stark County that in 4 years, I've reduced the budget by 30%, which means we've saved $1.3 million for the public operating that office. In terms of security, it seems a week doesn't go by where there's a news story about a cyber breach at a company or a nonprofit or a government. Certainly we've had those in Northeast Ohio. And as we looked into cybersecurity issues in the recorder's office, we discovered there were areas that we could improve. So we have done that. We have created our own digital backup of our index of records, which did not exist before. And we are just about to finish creating our own backup of an online search system, which didn't happen, which had never happened before, just in case the vendors that we use or the county itself fall victim to a cyber attack. We'll be able to still provide public accessibility to those records. The staff in the office has done a tremendous job, and they continue to provide tremendous service to our customers, to the public, even saving that 30% of the budget. They record every document that is presented to the office. It is recorded same day and made available online. So I simply have been fortunate and blessed to serve as the county recorder, and I ask for your vote to continue to serve for another 4 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now our candidate from the the Democratic side, Tara Dyer.
I'm probably the shortest one here. I'm Tara Dyer. I am running for Stark County Recorder. My background is not in politics. I have a background in project management, and a few reasons that I think that is something that's going to be valuable for the recorder's office is, first, organization. In the project management world, organization is key. You have to make sure you're keeping track of everything. And I want to make sure I'm doing that and that I earn the trust of the people in the community. Second, my project management is in the world of technology. And not everybody has access to the technology, so it's a mix of being user-friendly, making sure people have access, but also getting out in the community too, because the people in the community also need access for those who may not be able to use the technology as easily. And the third thing for me is I grew up in Stark County, so I'm going aside from the project management for a second, and I really believe in community. I have been president of the Northern Stark Dems. I served in the political world, but also I take part in my kids' activities. I have 2 children that are amazing. My son just started his freshman year of high school. So for me, I really want to be able to be a servant for the community. So it's not just about the office, it's about serving the people of Stark County. And I really hope I can have your vote. Thank you.
And next, we'll have our candidates for treasurer. I don't believe Mr. Leolis is here, so I'd like to hear from Alex Zunbar.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Temple Israel, for inviting us here tonight to speak to you about why we are running for office and why we want to be elected or re-elected to these positions. My name is Alex Zumbar. I am your Stark County Treasurer. I have been your treasurer since 2010, and I have a degree in accounting from Mount Union College, a BA in accounting. I also am a certified public finance administrator. I received that certification from the Ohio Association of Public Treasurers of the United States and Canada. I was a former auditor in the City of Alliance. I became the finance director in the City of North Canton before I became the Stark County Treasurer, to come in to clean up a mess that was unfortunately a darkest day here in Stark County. Over $2.964 million was stolen from the Treasury by a predecessor treasurer. I was the person you elected in 2010 to come in and clean it up, and I have done that. I have provided good service, and certainly I safeguard the taxpayer money. I account for every penny that comes into that office. Over $900 million comes in on an annual basis. I safeguard that. I also am the Chief Investment Officer for Stark County, and I handle all the investments with my team that earns millions of dollars in interest income that the commissioners then get to appropriate and expend on the Stark County Treasurer, the Stark County citizens' behalf. I have been endorsed by the McKinley Lodge No. 2 Fraternal Order of Police and Votes for Women. I humbly am asking for your vote and your support, and please re-elect me as your Stark County Treasurer. I will continue to provide safeguarding of the taxpayer funds that come into my office, and certainly enjoy serving you, the public. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to hear from our candidates for Common Pleas Court, and we have 2 different divisions that have elections this year, and we're going to start with the general division, both civil and criminal matters. And first up will be Natalie Hawk.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Temple Israel, for inviting me and also for hosting this important event. I am Judge Natalie Haupt, and I am running for re-election because I love my job. I love the work I get to do, every day. I have spent my entire legal career in public service, first as an assistant public defender, as a magistrate, and now a judge. I am proud of that, to be a public servant, and it's a responsibility I take very seriously. When I ran in 2018, I said that my training, having served as a magistrate for over 15 years, working on the same cases in the same system, would allow me to hit the ground running on day one. And I believe that that turned out to be true. That's not to say I'm not constantly learning and improving, but I am passionate about the work that I have started. In all, I have over 21 years of judicial experience. In common pleas court, we are dealing with complex cases. We are dealing with crimes punishable by imprisonment. We are dealing with life and death. It is not a place for inexperience. And it's a campaign, and you're going to hear judicial campaigns always talk about fairness, fairness, fairness. What I am confident in saying is that I have a demonstrated record of fairness, of ensuring that those who come before me, whoever they are, will receive a level playing field. And I'm happy to report that my peers agree with that. I am the only candidate in this race to have received the rating of highly recommended from the Stark County Bar Association Judiciary Committee. Also, I am endorsed by the Stark County Association for Justice. That's an organization of trial lawyers, those who appear in court every day before me. A little bit about me. I graduated from The Ohio State University, put myself through law school at Case Western Reserve. That's where I met my husband, who's also a lawyer here in town. We have 2 teenagers and 2 bulldogs. That's a lot of work, all of that, and 1 minute left. I do want to take a moment to highlight some of the work that maybe you don't know about. I preside over the Domestic Violence Drug Treatment Court. This is a specialized docket certified by the Ohio Supreme Court, working to break the cycle of violence in the home and address recidivism in our community. I know a lot of folks have talked about mental health. It's no secret that many in the criminal justice system are struggling with mental health issues. I am the co-chair of our mental health track, and I am currently working to develop a specialized docket, like my domestic violence court, to address the needs of those with mental health issues in the court, and collaborating with others. I am ready, willing, and able to start, and am starting, work on that docket. So I do humbly ask for your vote. I hope you can see my passion. I love what I do. It is, quite frankly, the greatest job I could think to have. So thank you.
Thank you. And next we have our candidates for the family court. And Stark County is unique. We have both the domestic relations division that deals with divorces and juvenile division that deals with neglect and dependent and abused children, as well as unmarried couples. And we're pretty unique in the state for having a combined court for that. With that, we have 2 candidates here tonight, and we're going to start with Matt Kreitzer. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you all. Good evening to YouTube. My name is Matt Kreitzer. I am the Chief Magistrate at the Stark County Family Court. I'm running for Family Court Judge because I'm passionate about family law, and I really believe in what we do in the family court to help children and families in Stark County. I've dedicated my entire career to family law. I started out 20 years ago in private practice, doing everything that would come in my door, including family law-related matters. On February 5th of 2007, I was hired by the Stark County Public Defender's Office to work in the family court, represent children and families on juvenile and family law-related matters. I did that for a little more than 3 years, and then I became an attorney with the Child Support Enforcement Agency, establishing child support, establishing paternity, and enforcing child support orders. I did that for a little more than 4 years, and then in 2014, I became a magistrate. And for those of you who don't know, a magistrate, basically my job is basically the same as a judge's job in court. I have my own courtroom, I wear a robe, I run trials, I do hearings, I issue orders, decisions, and opinions just like a judge does, just like I would do should I get elected. I've been doing that for 10 years. I've done more than 12,000 family court cases since I took the bench in 2014. Experience in family court is very important. We are making decisions about people's children, about their families, about their property, about their finances, about their retirement, about their parental rights. The person who takes the bench on January 2nd of 2025 has to be ready to make those decisions because there are currently trials and hearings being scheduled on that judge's docket. I will be prepared to make those decisions because I've been doing it for 10 years now. I, like Judge Haupt, am highly recommended by the Stark County Bar Association. I'm a member of the Stark County Bar Association Family Law Committee, and I'm the bench chair of that committee. And one of the responsibilities of that committee is providing education to family law practitioners in Stark County. I'm a member of the Ohio Association of Magistrates. I'm a member of the National Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges, and I'm on the board of the United Way, as well as Erica's Angels. So these are some of the things I do besides my magistrate work, and I love speaking to the public about the family court and what we do there and why it's important. And I ask that when you go to the ballot, that you vote for experience and that you vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'd like to hear from the other party running in the race, Katie Urchick-Gilbert. Katie?
Hello, everyone. My name is Katie Urchick-Gilbert. I am from originally Alliance, Ohio. My family still lives there. I have always been a Stark County girl. I currently live in the city of Canton with my husband, Bill, and we have an eight-year-old daughter, Charlotte, who goes to Plain local schools. I am currently the Canton City Prosecutor. I am the first woman to hold that position, which I am very proud of. I was hired by my mentor, Judge Frank Frashoni, years ago in that office as an intern. I worked as an intern and ultimately became a prosecutor. I go to work every day as a prosecutor, and I love my job. This has been a hard year to be a prosecutor for the city of Canton. The hardest year I've experienced yet. I've decided to run for family court probably, I would say about 3 years ago. I started noticing in my job every day as an adult prosecutor, we're dealing with juvenile problems. What kind of juvenile problems? Gun violence, not going to school, missing kids. That hasn't stopped. It's been 3 years of my office, adult prosecutors, focusing on children. Every day talking to my detectives about another missing kid, another kid with a gun, another kid with a gun, another kid who is dead. So why am I running? I'm running because I want to be in juvenile court, family court, to figure out what's going on and to be part of the solution there. I am qualified. I certainly will be ready to go if elected. I promise if I'm elected, I will follow the law, and I will treat everyone with kindness, which is what I do right now as a prosecutor. I've spent my entire legal career as a prosecutor prosecuting domestic violence cases and endangering children cases. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes those cases go hand in hand with family court cases. Abuse, dependency, neglect cases, that's a child endangering case. That's a domestic violence case. I speak regularly to the Department of Job and Family Services and social workers about the welfare of children. Every day I go to work making the best decision for children. I certainly can do that as family court judge. And I consider myself more than qualified to do so. I've known Matt for a long time. Back when he was a public defender, I was the assigned prosecutor in the courtroom. We spent a lot of time together. He's a great guy. But that being said, I hope I have your vote. And again, I encourage you to vote early too. I heard somebody else say that. It's so important. Go out and vote however you want to vote. But I hope today, after hearing me, you vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you all. We're going to head right into our last event, what we call the main event, right? Because we're going to have a Q&A here. And I'm going to invite both Jim Thomas and Krista Allison to come on up front and sit up front so you can each have a turn without waiting too much. And we've got some seats up here for you. And while we're waiting, I want to thank your parties and both your chairs. Janet Creighton is not here tonight. Dimitrios Poussalides, whose name I should know how to spell. And I finally did, right? Thank you so much for helping us organize this, guys. And it's a pleasure to have you guys both here tonight and all the candidates again. With that, we have a little different format for the 49th House race, and it's in your program here, and it starts with each candidate having 2 minutes for an opening, and we did a coin flip ahead of time, and I believe Krista Allison is going to start us off, and then I will do Q&As that are moderated here. And again, if you have any questions for Todd, this is about your last chance. I've gotten a few already that will work in there. But with that, I'd like to welcome Krista Allison up first.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Temple Israel for the opportunity to be here, as well as the